She's going to come in and kind of take a look. It might have you do a little bit of tweaking of some stuff, and then I'll be back at the end to kind of help with the upload stuff and go from there. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great interview, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, Silver. How are you?
I'm good.
How's your day going so far?
Well, I've just started, so okay.
True, yes, yeah. Yes, you're out on the West Coast, correct?
Yeah, I'm in Oregon.
Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Oregon's a beautiful state.
Yeah.
Have to go there sometime. I've never been, but I see all the pictures. And, it looks
And
really
I live
nice.
on the coast.
Huh?
I live on the coast.
Oh, very nice, very
Yeah.
nice. Awesome. So, yeah, Ryan just kind of helped with the setup process. So, and then Evan will be kind of coming in a bit in terms of the interview. But I'm just trying to see just some background stuff. And I just want to just ask for a few things potentially. In terms of some of the decorations in the background. Is it possible to potentially, in terms of licensing wise, sometimes we can't always put, like for legal issues, there are some like characters on the wall and stuff. And I'm just curious, like with that.
But they're not, they're not copywritten or anything. This is stuff that my subscribers have sent to me.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So that's why I have it up, is so they can see it, because this is where I live in a tiny house.
Yes.
Yeah, my entire house is only 220 square feet.
Gotcha. No, Silver. One of my favorite shows is Tiny House Hunting. So I love tiny homes.
I can't watch that show anymore. Even though I live in a tiny house, I can't watch it because they're always doing stuff. They're always creating new things in a tiny house that every time I watch the show, I'm like, no, don't do that. You're going to hate it. So.
You're like, yeah, you should be like an advisor on there.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I should.
Okay, I'm just trying to see too, just because there are like that flag in the back that has the characters on it. Like, did somebody make that? That's just because.
Yeah, that's for another YouTube channel that I can probably remove that.
Yeah, if we would be able to take that down, and then I'm just trying to see.
Oh God, everything's falling.
Gotcha. And is the award that is up there, does that contain your name?
Yes, it does. Can you see it though? Can you even read?
I can see that. Yeah.
No. It's my credentials of ministry.
Oh, very nice.
I'm a minister.
Very nice. Because the thing I'm going to ask too is we have to move the clock, the Amazon Alexa, because we can't show the time, because as the interview goes, then the time changes. So if we could put that down if possible.
How about just turning her around?
Let's see.
Now you can't see.
Yeah, okay. We'll see what they say about that. But Silver, I'm just curious. I'm just zooming in on my end to see if there's anything like background wise. And just curious, if we potentially moved the camera like to the other side of the couch where there wasn't necessarily stuff in the back, just because I'm not sure if we're going to be able to show some of the cards and stuff, just because like artwork wise, sometimes we can't always get.
That's the other end of my couch.
Gotcha.
So I would have to sit here.
Fan, I see.
My entire house is one big huge Seahawk logo. So I can't get away from the Seahawks.
Gotcha.
I can move this.
Yeah, we would have to move that because it is the Seahawks thing, and then we would have to move the where it says football, friends, and family. Just because Seahawks we can't. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is that any better?
No worries. And then would we be able to close the door from your house? Just because as
It's
people
closed.
walk by and as the sun sets,
As the sun sets, it's only 10 a.m.
True. Well, as the sun is at its highest point at noon, so
And it would be directly above my house.
yeah.
Because I'm east-west exposure.
Gotcha. I'm sure you're a beach person then, correct?
No.
Are you, close?
No, I've been there, done it. No, I don't go to the beach very often.
Gotcha. No worries. And Silver, so I am going to ask too, would you happen to have a sweatshirt that doesn't say Old Navy on it, just because once again the logos.
Sweatshirt? A sweatshirt?
Well, yeah. So your
I can
sweatshirt
take
now says Old Navy.
I can take this
so I'm
off.
just curious too if you had like another jacket that we could kind of put on that that just doesn't have like a logo or something on it.
Or do I have to wear a jacket?
Yeah, I mean, or just because the stripes on the shirt, like when like you watch something on television and stripes on the shirt kind of come off, like it's almost like a double vision kind of thing.
Right.
We do like the shirt, but sometimes we just might need to add just like a jacket and stuff.
Okay, hang on.
Or if you, or if you had like a long sleeve shirt you wanted to change into.
Oh my god, this is gonna be warm. Okay, plain black one. That's all I got. The others, I have a blue one that's Old Navy and a blue one that is Seahawks.
Yeah.
So this is it.
Gotcha. No worries. Awesome. Were you upset that they traded Russell Wilson, right?
Yes, very.
Me too.
I was so mad.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, I just want to see real quick, if you don't mind moving in the direction just to center you up a little bit, kind of back towards the couch and then towards your door or the window. Yeah. Actually, a little bit to where you were before. Sorry, I'm just trying to get you a little bit center. Awesome. You look great. No worries. You have nothing to be nervous about, Silver. All good.
Yeah, I shouldn't be nervous. I do a YouTube show twice a week.
Oh, fun. Very nice.
But I am nervous, so it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that's okay. Listen, you have nothing to be nervous about. We are.
It's easy for you to say.
True. You got me there. We are a well-oiled machine over here. So this is not our first rodeo. So you're in good hands, I swear. And you will do great, I swear. So Silver, I just want to make sure too. So the background, you're looking at the back of the camera of the iPad where it says "Look here."
Yeah, look here when talking.
Awesome. And the microphone is pointed in the direction towards you?
Yep.
Awesome. So when you were doing the interview, if you don't mind kind of just looking in that scope, in that area.
Right.
Just because it's normal to like look about, right? Look around the room and, use our hands and stuff. But if you don't mind kind of just keeping that general vicinity, that would be great.
Give it my best college try.
Yeah, no worries. So I just want to see, so if you don't mind, maybe just standing up straight for me, we're just going to send a quick screenshot to our supervisor to get approval before we get started. Does that sound good?
Sure. So you want me to stand up?
No, like kind of like sit up straight. Like,
oh.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're centered. Yeah, no worries. Awesome. Okay, so just give me one quick second. And then we'll go over just a few interview things, and then we will rock on. Yeah, I like that. Then we will be set. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Awesome. Perfect. So if you don't mind just looking at the camera real quick. Perfect. So in 3, 2, 1. Awesome, awesome. So let me just send that off. Um, in terms of just to our supervisors. So if you just want to grab, if you need to use the restroom, maybe grab some water, a snack before we get started. And then I'll kind of go over a few. Nice, Dr. Pepper. Man, I haven't had Dr. Pepper in a really long time.
It's the best. It's all I drink.
It is the best. It is.
Everybody
That's
tells
all you-
me I need to drink more water, and I'm like, well, Dr. Pepper is made with water.
True, yeah. There is a compound in there that has water, so. So let me just send that off real quick. So just give me one quick second. But I will just go over a few interview things with you before we get started.
I just wait.
Awesome, Silver. So I just sent it off. So let me just go over like a few interview things.
Okay.
So in terms of the interview itself, so in terms of what we're going to speak about, right? It's going to be the videos that you sent in, and I kind of like to call it like a hamburger, right? We kind of start off at the beginning, like a little bit about you, your neighborhood, and then the videos and the neighbor is like the meat portion, and then the other side of the bun is any wrap ups or anything additionally that you would want us to know, any updates, does this neighbor still live in the neighborhood, right? So, well, yeah, you will tell us all about that. But from the interview standpoint, like I said earlier, if you don't mind kind of keeping your gaze right where it says, like, look here, and the interview is done in a series of clips. And so since they upload on our end, we kind of keep them around like 7 minutes long. But if you need to use the restroom, get some water or anything, we could stop and start a clip at any time. And so, from that perspective, it's, really kind of sharing your story, telling your emotions behind the videos, right? Because we could watch the video 1,000 times, but I can't really capture or know how you're feeling in that moment unless you tell me,
Right.
And so, if you have any questions too, just let us know. As well as, when Evan kind of asks you the questions, if you don't mind just restating the question back into your answer.
Okay.
So, Silver, if I were to ask you, what is your favorite football team? You would say, my favorite football team is blank, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just because they're not going to keep the questions in, when we speak.
Right.
So it's
So
really
repeat
you
your
telling the
question.
story. Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
repeat the question and then answer it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. No worries. Do you have any questions so far or anything like that?
Nope. I'm good.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. Means I'm doing my job, I guess. So I just sent that off to my supervisor, so I'm just waiting to hear back real quickly. But in the meantime, too, like I said, if you need to use the restroom, get some water before we start. And then maybe I might ask too, maybe to like silence your phone or something like that if it's nearby in case it rings, or in case anything like
Yeah.
that. So
Now everybody knows that I'm doing this, so they better not call me.
no, I know. Well, we're excited to hear your story. And a little bit more about the context, obviously, regarding the videos. So, and you're going to do great. I know you are. So,
You
yeah,
assume a
it's
lot.
oh no, yeah, you have nothing to be nervous about, Silver. It's okay. Um, are you? Did you do anything fun this week? Do you have any fun weekend plans?
Yes, I do. I'm
Oh, what
going.
do you do?
I'm going to go to Portland Pride.
Fun, fun.
Hmm. Yep.
Oh, they have it in. They have it in July.
Well, yeah. They normally, for years and years and years, it's always been in June.
Yeah.
But June is Oregon's rainy season still.
Hmm.
So they decided this year that they don't want to get rained on again. So they moved it to July, so they guarantee sunshine.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that just
Very
makes
nice.
it better because now I can go. And
Yeah, no worries.
it'll be my
Yeah.
grandson's first Pride since coming out, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's very smart of them to do when it's nicer weather. You know,
Yeah.
it's like nice
I've been to
thing.
too many Prides where it was just miserable, just
Yeah.
raining and miserable. So
Yeah.
this will be so much better, and it's supposed to be about 88 degrees. So, yay!
Very nice. Very nice. You know, that's awesome. Because I was gonna say, I was like, isn't it? I mean, the year is just flying by personally. So I don't know how it's July
Crazy.
already. So yeah,
Well,
it's
you know, I do a YouTube show twice a week, and every Friday is a giveaway show. So I give something away every Friday.
oh fun.
Every Friday, and it's like I give away headphones, drones, fast chargers, you know, all kinds of different stuff. And doing that just really makes the weeks go by quick. You know, I'm by the time I'm done with one show and getting the package ready for the post office, I'm getting ready for the next show. So it's like quick, 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 quick.
Yeah. Well, that's very generous of you for you sending stuff. I will. No, it's very nice.
I love doing it. I just absolutely love giving stuff away. It's like I'm the one that's gonna pay for the car behind me in the drive-through. You know, I'm the one that'll pay for your groceries if you're struggling and to look in your purse for money. That's just the way I am. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
It's just the way I
No.
am.
Yeah, no, that's very admirable. I want to say that I've done that, but I can't say that I've done that. So you're a better person than me, Silver. I will say.
Well, I can't really. I don't have a lot of money, but what I do have, I'm gonna share.
No, that's very nice. I mean, are you planning for any Seahawks games this season? Do you head down to Seattle?
No,
Sorry.
no. The nosebleed seats are about $250. So
They're
No.
crazy.
I can't afford that. I can afford, you know, the little things that I give away, but I can't afford $250 for a bad seat.
Yes,
'Cause
and also too, like I always find, I just watch the games on my TV, and it's the best seat in the house. So
Mhm. Yeah, it really is. Because then you get the replay too.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because from the nosebleeds, you're like, where am I sitting? Where am I?
I've been to Seahawk games. I've been to like 3 of them, and I loved it. I almost got kicked out once for screaming at the refs, but I just can't afford it myself. I can't justify spending $250 on crap seats. You know, I just can't justify that. It's like I don't wear designer clothes because I can't justify spending $150 on a pair of jeans. You know,
Yeah.
I don't get that. I will never understand that. So I
For
just
sure.
I live frugally.
No, I also too, it's like those things you're like, they don't last as long, or where some cheaper stuff you're like, oh, this has lasted me for years.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. My dad was a multimillionaire. And I'm not. I never will be. But he would buy all kinds of expensive stuff, and like during Christmas, I would tell him I want books. I don't
Yeah.
want all that expensive stuff. You know, just keep it
Yeah.
keep it real with me. You know, because not into that.
Yeah. So you're an ordained minister?
Yeah.
Are you very nice?
Yeah, from the Universal Life Church, online. But
Yeah.
I became a minister when Oregon legalized gay marriage, and so now I will marry any gay couple for free, but straight couples have to pay.
Yeah.
It's my gift to the gay
No,
community. So
that's very nice of you.
yeah. So if if a gay couple wants to get married, I will marry them. I will perform the ceremony for free. Just give me cake. Just feed me,
Yeah.
and that's good enough. You know.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I'll help you move as long as you buy my dinner.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I do. I've performed several marriages. A couple of them haven't lasted, but that's not on me. That's not on me.
Yeah.
That's on them.
No, it's okay. Yeah, you're just there.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Very nice, very nice. Sorry, Silver. We're just waiting
Oh,
just to
that's
hear
all right.
back on a few more things, and then we will get started. I apologize talking your ear off, but once again,
Oh, that's
too,
okay.
if you need to like use the restroom or anything or grab a snack, please feel free to do so.
No.
Food is always on my mind, Silver. So it's it's a yeah.
Well, I mean, look at me. Food is not on my mind.
I wish I could say the same, but I'm always like, I'm always snacking on something. So
Yeah, I have one of those weird metabolisms that I can't gain weight.
yeah,
I can't
No,
lose weight
that's-
either, but I can't gain it. So I stay the same. I've been the same weight that I've been the same weight for 40 years.
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I fluctuate up and down 1 or 2 pounds, but other than that, I stay at about 115. And that's it. And I can't help it. I can't.
Do you play football? Are you a person who likes to be in the community and play sports too?
No.
Like if you
No, I watch sports, but I don't play them. I'm way too
Yeah.
old anyway. I'm 65 years old. I mean, I'm not
65,
gonna.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, I'm
Silver.
65. I just turned 65 in May. So,
happy belated birthday.
well, thank you. So yeah, no, I don't play. I have a pit bull. He keeps me busy. He keeps me jumping.
Oh.
So
Yeah, no, for sure. Dogs are the best type of workout you could ever. It's literally a
Yeah.
free workout then.
yeah, I'm gonna work him out because he's going to Pride with me. So
Oh, fun.
that'll be fun. But yeah. But the YouTube shows I've been doing for 3 years now, and I don't have a whole lot of followers, subscribers yet. It's just under 3,000. But it's small and fun. Everybody that comes to my channel is fun. I have one rule on my channel. One rule: be nice. That's it. If you're not
That's
nice, you're gone.
That's a motto. Awesome. Wait, actually, Silver. So we got back just a word from my supervisor. So I'm just gonna have you move a little bit in the direction of the door/window, just like a hair. Actually, if you don't mind, just back a little bit more.
Back?
Just a little bit. So back to where you were.
Oh.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So too, I think, you know, everything on the background end would be okay, with us. So I am just going to see, but we might just want to keep you in that position. Just, I know you're on a couch, so technically it might be a little bit, second nature to like lean back and like get a little bit comfy, but you might just be a stickler just in the terms of like continuity, right? Just trying to make sure you're kind of in the same spot, you know, like looking at the camera. So
I'm back as far as I can get.
Yeah, no worries. No, yeah, I sometimes too, it gets a little bit, you know, people start like laying down, and I'm like, guys, I'm like, like we gotta like, I'm always a stickler. I'm like a teacher sometimes. I'm like, we gotta, you know, stand up straight, or sit up straight. But you're good. So I just going to make a mention. But if you don't have any other more questions, I'll kind of have Evan step in a little bit, and then we could get rolling. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Awesome. Just give me 1 second.
Cool, I'm here. Hey, Silver, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm super excited to finally do our interview today. Thank you for being so patient as we kind of... I know you said your space was small, but it actually looks pretty good, so I'm excited about it.
Well,
we made it work.
Give you an idea, it is 26 feet long and 8.5 feet wide.
Hey, we made it work, so that's all that matters. It looks great. I'm sure Ariana kind of went over everything with you. I'm just going to give a brief refresh on some of the stuff. So, you know, unfortunately, they don't care to hear my questions, so you're going to be kind of narrating everything. So, you know, try your best if you can to just repeat that question back in your answer. You know, so if I ask you, what's your neighborhood like? You'd say, you know,
well, my neighborhood
like
is
urban, whatever, right? Another thing too is, you know, obviously I can watch the videos and I can see what's happening, but I'm never going to know exactly how you were feeling. Right. So feel free to tap into those emotions and all that sort of stuff as we go through. And one last thing, you know, I know it's easy to be nervous, but just remember, it's just me. You know, I'm no one super special. So I'm not Barbara Walters. I'm not Oprah Winfrey. So nothing to be nervous about. You know, we're gonna keep it very casual, and it's a conversation just to get to know more about you and a little bit more about your neighborhood.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. So I'm just gonna have you scoot just a little, just a teens. Basically, there's like a piece of the wall behind you. I'm just trying to put your head in between that door frame and the other one. So just go a little bit more if you can to your right, like a little bit.
My right or your right?
Your right. Just a little bit. And stop right. Actually just kind of straighten yourself up towards the camera. I think we'll be good. Yep. Go a little bit towards the other way now, towards that window. Like a little bit. The other way. So you're right. Just a little bit more. And stop. There we go. Yay, we did it. Awesome. Cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit record, and we will get started, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Oops, I don't think you can you hear me now?
Yeah?
Awesome. So first question, super easy. Tell me your full name and spell it out for me.
My name is Silver Diamond. You need my middle name too?
No, just basically what you want to go by.
Okay.
So Silver Diamond, and then just spell it out for me.
Yeah, SilverDiamond.
Awesome. And then tell me how old you are and where you live.
I am 65, and I live in Lincoln City, Oregon.
Awesome. Is that close to Portland, or where exactly is that at?
It's about 2 hours from Portland.
Oh, awesome.
On the
I've never
coast.
been up there. I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's on the coast.
I've only been to NorCal, so I definitely want to check out more of the Pacific North. I've been to Seattle too, but never Portland or Oregon.
Yeah.
So I need to check it out.
At least
tell
you
me
said
a little
it
bit more about. Sorry, say it again.
At least you said it right. Some people call it Oregon.
Really?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
Mostly East Coast people. East Coast people call it Oregon, and it's like.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
That's not right.
So, tell me a little bit more about your family. I mean, do you have kids? Are you married? Tell me about that.
Not married. I've been married twice, divorced twice, never again. I have 2 daughters. They're grown. And my oldest daughter has two kids, so I have two grandkids. My youngest daughter does not have kids. She doesn't want kids. So, but that's my family. I've got, you know, two daughters that I love very dearly. And
So going off
hopefully,
of that, I mean, would you say your family's kind of everything to you? I mean, tell me about, you know, it sounds like for you, family is really important. So kind of tell me about that.
um, because my family, my dad and mom and brothers, I was adopted. All three of us kids were adopted, and I was adopted when I was 10 days old. So I never knew anything about my birth family. And because of that, and because of the way I was raised by my mom and dad, um, it's more important to me than it ever was to them, kind of thing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, so it definitely sounds like, you know, family is a lot to you, and that's
Yeah.
important. I would say, you know, my family's my everything, so I totally get it.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit more about your personality. I mean, what kind of person are you? And feel free to be honest, you know, if you're kind of
I'm insane. I'm
confrontational
crazy.
or whatever, tell me about it.
I'm a little insane. I'm a little crazy. I am very brutally honest. A lot of people can't handle that. So I'm, you know, labeled as hard or cold. I just believe in not pussyfooting around. You know what I mean? I definitely have to say what I feel and feel what I say. So
I get that. Would you say you're confrontational? Like you're not
No.
afraid to tell it like it is?
no, I'm actually opposite of confrontational. I do not like confrontation. That scares the crap out of me. It literally scares me when somebody gets up in my face and starts screaming at me. But that stemmed from my first marriage. That's like PTSD for me now. I'm not confrontational. I'm just very, you know, if somebody asks me a question, I'm gonna tell you and I'm gonna give you an answer, and you may not like the answer, but that's the answer you're gonna get. So, does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally. I
just
get it. Yeah, I mean,
super
I like
honest.
that. I like that though. I like that you're kind of direct, and that's good. I
Very.
mean, I like that. I'm gonna stop this. There's one thing I just want to adjust, just because you shifted a little bit.
I
The
did?
light, like there's kind of a shadow behind your head now. So I
I
think
can
we just
move a
need
light.
to move the light a little more directly in front of you, rather than. Let me see now. Actually, the other way is better, because right now it's making the shadow more on the right side of you, or the left side of you. Your left. Let's see. Something. Still kind of there. Let's move it a little bit more if we can. Sorry. It was perfect, but keep going a little bit with it.
Well, if I go any further, it'll be pointed that way.
Oh, okay. Weird. All right. Let's see.
I mean, you might not be able to avoid the shadow. 'Cause
Can we move
you
the
got a bright light
could the
on
light
me.
to the other? Could it come to the other side of you? Are there two lights on you, or are there only
There's
one?
two. One,
Oh, okay.
two.
So maybe it's the other one. Try to move the other one on the other side. Maybe that's what's causing the shadow. Now it's worse. So move it closer to the iPad.
What?
Sorry. I think it's just because we
Yeah,
shifted that it
that's
moved.
not possible for a lot of this. No, I still got
All right, then step back for me.
the shadow. I can see it.
Yeah, I still see it a little bit. Huh? Is there any way to eliminate it that you can think of? I'm wondering. Because it
Turn off
can't
the
come any
light?
closer to the iPad, right? Yeah.
I mean,
It can't come any closer to the iPad. They're close right beside it, right?
the iPad tripod is on my coffee table.
Oh, got it. Okay, I'm sure those are on your coffee table too, right?
No, the lights are off the coffee table, but they're the same level as the iPad.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right. Well, sit back for me. Let me just look at the shadow one more time. It might not be that bad. Go. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm not gonna stress out about it. It'll be okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's start the next clip.
Okay.
Awesome. So now I want you to tell me a little bit about your neighborhood. So we're kind of just talking generally here. So tell me a little bit about your neighborhood and what it's like.
My neighborhood is zoned for everything. You can have stick and mortar houses here. You can have manufactured homes here. You can have trailers, and you can have what I live in a tiny house. So my tiny house was the first tiny house in Oregon to be permanently placed, to where I'm not moving it. But this neighborhood has a little bit of everything. There's some trailers, there's houses, there's manufactured homes, there's, all kinds of things here. And everybody in the neighborhood, most everybody, is super friendly, and, you walk down the street and everybody says hello to you. So I love living here. It's absolutely, it's awesome. People
Go a little bit
are
deeper with
great.
that. I mean, what do you love so much about your neighborhood?
Like the neighborhood I lived in before in Beaverton, nobody knew anybody. Nobody knew anybody. No, I didn't know any of my neighbors. Here, I know all of them. So it's much more open and much more friendly than where I was.
When you say open, what do you mean? Like there's a lot more diversity?
Well, no, not just that, but I mean as far as they're friendlier. They want to know who you are. They want to help, if somebody is struggling to mow their lawn, there's going to be somebody in the neighborhood that will come down and give you a hand. I didn't have that in my old neighborhood. Everybody was just to themselves.
What made you move from Beaverton to where you are now? Like what brought you there?
To go tiny. Say Yeah, I moved here to go tiny. I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that was killing me financially. And so I decided to sell that house, and when I sold that house, it financed me to buy this property and to have this tiny house built. And since doing that, my bills have been cut by 65%.
Do you think that's almost like I feel like a lot of people are doing this tiny home thing. I know Ariana was talking to you a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. Tell me about it. Why do you think that's the case? Do you think it's because the cost of living is growing in neighborhoods across the U.S.?
Yes, because of property taxes are so high. Your electricity bill is so high. Your water bill is so high. I mean, when you have a big house, you're heating the whole house. Whereas here, I'm only heating 220 square feet. So that's going to be a much less heat bill. Same with
totally, right. It's like it's so much cheaper. I mean, it makes sense. I actually live in Mexico City. I moved to Mexico City to cut some of my costs because in LA, it was ridiculous. Costs are increasing. Can you just give me a line of I moved here because costs are increasing across neighborhoods in the U.S. and this was the perfect neighborhood for me because I could have my tiny home. And something like that to kind of set it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I moved here to help with my finances. I was not able to save any money, so I moved here to go tiny. I now live in a tiny house, and this neighborhood was the first neighborhood to step up and allow tiny houses. Oregon didn't allow them before I came along. And
wow, and describe what this tiny house is like. I guess I'm sure you could probably send us some photos so we kind of know what it's like.
I can
show
it to you
describe it to me.
by turning
what's
the iPad. I can show you my entire house.
Photos will be better. Photos will be better if you sit on me. So if you're talking about it, I can show it. So tell me about this tiny house. I mean, what's it like inside?
It has everything. This tiny house has everything any normal house has, just minus the space. So I have a dishwasher, I have a washer and dryer, I have a full tub and a shower. So I have everything a normal house has, except it's just compacted into 220 square feet. I mean, it's, you know, some people will call it a trailer, but it's not. It's built on a trailer, but it's built like a house. It's built with, you know, siding, drywall, the whole bit. And I have everything in here that is in any other normal house. Just minus
That's awesome.
space.
That's so cool. That's so fascinating to me. I mean, you think about it. You live in these big houses. It's like you don't really need all that space sometimes. You know, you really
and you
could
don't
just
need
go
all
small.
the stuff that goes along with it either.
Yeah, exactly right. All that hoarding. You know,
Yeah.
I know that one.
When I moved here, I literally, when I was in the middle of selling my house in Beaverton, and I knew I couldn't take it all with me, so I just opened up my front door and just let people come in and have whatever they wanted. I put whatever I was taking with me in my bedroom and locked that door, and then just let people come in and take whatever they wanted. It was the best way to get rid of it. And
Totally.
yeah, and
I mean,
it
how would
literally
you describe
feels like
your-
the weight of the world off your shoulders when you do that. When you
Yeah, right. You can
purge
get rid of
everything.
all that crap, you know, and you can finally be free in a
Yeah.
way, you know. Now, how would you describe your neighborhood in terms of like the like, is it suburban? I mean, how would you describe it? Urban, rural? Like, how would you describe that if you had to give it some sort of classification?
Oh my gosh, I would probably describe this neighborhood as suburban, but lower middle class.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And how long have you lived there for? You probably told me, but I just want to get it in a clean sentence. So I've lived in this neighborhood for
I have lived here for 6 years now, going on 7.
wow. And when you first moved in, did you expect it to be kind of like freeing for you and kind of like, you know, a paradise? And has it been that?
Well, no, I wasn't. I was not expecting a paradise. No, the paradise was in my bank account. That's where paradise is. But when I moved, I've lived in Oregon all my life, and so I've been to Lincoln City. I've been here before many times. And so I knew what to expect as far as the town is concerned, but the people were a pleasant surprise. How friendly everybody is, how nice.
And is it still that way today? Like, do you
Yes.
think even, give me kind of a line, you know, where it's like, and you know, to this day, everyone, all my other neighbors are pretty great, except this one neighbor across the street.
Yeah.
Kind of set up that suspense, you know?
Right. Yeah. Everybody here has and is absolutely wonderful, minus the lady 2 doors down. She was not wonderful. She was when she first moved in, but not now.
So we're going to talk about that actually. So let's start diving into this neighbor, right? And we're going to kind of act like you're going to kind of act like none of the other stuff has already happened, right? So if that makes sense, it's like you just have met this neighbor, right? So I want to know, what are your first impressions of the neighbor, right? So I want you to tell me how you guys first met,
Right.
and what your thoughts are after that.
Well, we first met the day she was moving in. Her house used to be a garage, and it got converted into a house. And so I went up and I introduced myself. I had my dog with me, and I introduced her to my dog, and introduced who I was, my dog, who he was. She was really nice, really pleasant. We talked for a little bit. She said a few things that I thought was kind of odd, but I didn't really, think anything of it. I thought she was a little eccentric, but nice. She was perfectly fine the first time I met her. Not after that.
So tell me, you mentioned that she said some things that were kind of odd. Like, what do you mean?
She said that she she said that she was like the most stalked person in America. And she said that, well, what did she say? God, it's been 6 years. That's all I can remember is that she said that she was the most stalked person in America. And I kind of looked at her and went, what? And she changed the subject. So I don't even remember the entire conversation we had. But I did think it was a little weird. But I was like, okay, you know, eccentric, I can live with that. That's not a problem.
Are you kind of excited at that moment for your relationship with your next door neighbor type of thing?
I
Or
wasn't.
two doors down, whatever it is. You know, are you excited to have someone new to the neighborhood and welcome them kind of thing?
Yeah, I was very excited to have somebody new in the neighborhood. And we told her that, everybody helps everybody around here. So if you need any help with anything, just let us know and we'll be more than happy to help you out. If you need help, moving stuff in, or you need help, anything you need help with, and we would be more than willing to help you. Apparently she didn't want any help.
Give me that line one last time without kind of laughing at the end of it, so it sounds a little more ominous. So apparently she didn't want any help, and
Yeah.
this neighbor turns out to be one of the worst experiences of my life, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
Well, obviously
well,
make it
yeah.
sound kind of dramatic,
Apparently she didn't want help. She wanted to keep to herself, and that's when it started.
Perfect. Now, before we go into how everything started to kind of go down, the crap hole, for lack of a better term, tell me about, how would you describe your neighbor physically? What does she look like?
Typical,
Without being too mean.
Yeah, typical little old lady look. The gray hair, a little overweight, nothing major. She had 2 little dogs. I don't know what breed they were, but she rescued them, I suppose. Like I said, she seemed nice. That first meeting. It wasn't until 2 weeks later that we found out who she was.
Awesome. And give me that line one more time. My neighbor kind of seemed like your typical old lady.
My neighbor, she just seemed like the typical old lady, with a few quirks here and there, no red flags. I mean, I had no red flags go up, so.
Perfect. How would you describe her personality-wise? I'd love if you already gave me one kind of before, you said she was quirky. Now that you know her, how would you describe her personality?
Mean.
So my neighbor's personality is?
My neighbor's personality after the 2 weeks was mean, nasty, homophobic, racist, every bad thing that you can think of. She would scream at people, random people. So, yeah, I mean, she was just angry all the time. Angry.
Perfect. I'm going to stop this clip, and then we'll start another.
Okay.
You're doing so good. I guess maybe your live show is kind of bleeding into it a little bit, because you're doing great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I've never done this before, so this is new. I mean, I've been on TV before, but I've never done this.
Oh, you can't hear me. I feel like you're giving me that emotion that I want. I want it to seem real. I don't want it to seem rehearsed, and you're very good at telling stories.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
does your neighbor live alone, or does she live with someone?
She lived alone. 2 people helped her move in, but we haven't seen them since the day that she moved in. So I don't know who they were. I don't know if she hired them or what. I have no idea. But no, she lived alone with her 2 dogs.
Wow. Now, I want you to tell me, obviously, she's a little quirky. She seemed really nice at the beginning. Now, what is the first sign that you're like, obviously we can't say anything too crazy because I don't know if you have video of it, but you know, we can't say anything that we don't have on video, unfortunately, which kind of sucks because I'm sure there are a lot of things we want to talk
Well,
about.
I can use different words than what she
Yeah,
used.
just, you know, obviously nothing super incriminating. So, like, what is the first sign that you're like, wow,
Uh,
this is going to be a nightmare neighbor? So
Yeah.
tell me about that.
the first sign that there was craziness amongst us.
Say that one more time without using crazy, just because
Oh.
of the mental health issue.
The first time that we realized that she was off was she was walking in front of my house. I was in my yard doing some yard work. She walked in front of my house and I told her good morning. And she spun around and said, I don't know if I can say this, F you, B word. She screamed it. And I literally went like this. What? Because I was shocked. I don't know what set her off. I don't know what anybody did to make her do this. I was confused. I didn't understand. And she just kept walking. And I tried to say, hey, is everything okay? Are you mad? What's going on? And she just kept walking. She wouldn't say another word.
What are you thinking after this encounter? You know, are you thinking, okay, this is going to start to get really bad? Are you thinking it's a one-off? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be really bad. So I go up to my other neighbor, who I know is okay, and apparently she has also had a run-in with her, where the lady stood at my neighbor's driveway and screamed at her, calling her all kinds of names, all kinds of nasty names, and that neighbor had called the police on her. I didn't know this. I had no idea that the police had been called on her already.
What were the police called for, do you know?
Because she was being harassing. She was harassing the other neighbor. I don't know.
Now, when you hear that, what are you thinking? Like, oh God, I'm in for it type of thing?
I'm thinking, what is wrong with this woman? Why is she so angry? What happened? And that's what I'm thinking is, what happened to her? You know, I'm not thinking about, oh, this is going to be terrible from now on. No, I'm thinking, what happened to you that would make you be this way? And the woman was super intelligent. Super intelligent. She could speak like 5 languages fluently. And
wow.
yeah, that's what I couldn't figure it out. And then when the police would come, she would act like there was nothing wrong. Nobody did anything. She didn't do anything. Don't know what you're talking about. And so that's why we knew that she knew exactly what she was doing. That's when we knew that she knew exactly what she was doing. But we just didn't know why. And we couldn't figure that out.
Do you go up to her after this and ask, like, hey, what's going on or anything like that?
No. No, I don't. I didn't. I pretty much stayed away from her as much as I possibly could. I didn't want to antagonize her anymore. I didn't want her to start freaking out on me. But all you would have to do was walk by her house, and she would go into these screaming fits and call you all kinds of names. And it wasn't just me. It was anybody that walked by her house. Anytime she came out of her house, she would tell people that that all the people that are out of their houses right now only came out because she came out. Like we're all in our house just looking out our window in anticipation that she's going to come out of her house. And so that's when we all come out of our houses. If cars go up and down the street, she freaks out.
Insane. Yeah. So I guess let's kind of go it. I mean, before we get into it, I guess like, do you ever figure out what's going on? Like, is there some issue at the core of it, or is she just kind of off a rocker?
I really, like I said, I really wish I knew what happened to her to cause her to be this manic. I don't know. I really don't know. And even when I looked at her Instagram account, where she's explaining a lot of the stuff, none of it still makes sense. I mean, the only thing we got out of it was that we are stalking her because she used to be a yoga teacher. I don't do yoga.
Crazy.
I've never done yoga.
Well, let's kind of dive more into each video now, and that way we can kind of like go through it all, right? So the first one I want to talk about is label. It's called Crazy Neighbor Going Off Again. So basically what happens is she's outside, she's on the phone, she like off.
No, she's not on the phone.
Oh, okay.
She holds her phone like she's pretending to record people, but her phone is off.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, that's one of my questions. We'll talk about that. So she says that you're like selling videos of her and that she wants to show you her tits and stuff like that. So we'll go through it play by play. I'm just going to jog your memory about the video. So before you go outside and you start recording, I want you to kind of set the scene for me that day. You know, are you inside just kind of hanging out and you hear something outside? It's like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, I hear screaming and yelling outside. So
perfect. So tell me, I'm inside, or I was inside, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I'm inside, and I'm just watching YouTube videos like I normally do, and I hear screaming and yelling. Okay, that's weird. So I go outside, bring my camera with me, and there she is. She's freaking out on other people, and then of course she sees me and starts freaking out on me. And, you know, by this time, we're a couple of years into it already. And by this time, it's comical. Now it's gotten to the point where it's comical. Where it's just hilarious how she freaks out at absolutely nothing. And so, and the police are the ones that told me that I should start recording her. So that's what I did. I started recording her after her first police encounter, because they couldn't do anything because there was no proof. So I made sure to have proof.
Got it. So you start going outside. Are you nervous to like confront her, or how are you
I
feeling
don't
about it?
confront
I mean, I know
her.
that it's kind of funny, but is there anything you're kind of nervous about that she could, you know? I don't know if there's anything you're nervous about.
Yeah. At one point, I was standing there, and I had my dog, and my dog is a pit bull, and she has two small dogs, like a wiener dog mix and a Scotty mix, and she literally tried to get her dog to attack my dog, and I pulled my dog back, and I go, "Are you trying to get your dog killed? What are you doing? I have a pit bull. You have a little dog." Although my pit bull would never hurt anybody or hurt any little dog. But it's just, that worried me. I had no idea that she would attempt something like that. And that worried me, but I had to maintain that she's doing this on purpose. She's doing it to get attention, to get something. I don't know.
So let's walk it through before we get to that point. Let's walk it through kind of play by play. So you walk outside, you see she's out there. At that moment, what are you thinking you're going to see? What do you think is going to happen?
I never know with her. I never know what I'm going to see when I walk out the door and she's doing whatever she's doing. I really have no idea what I'm up against. The police trespassed her from my property, so she couldn't come to my property. but she could go in public. And ever since the police trespassed her from my property, she kind of ignores me now. She'll talk as if she's talking over me, or she's talking around me, but she's not talking directly to me. But I never know what she's gonna do, what she's gonna say, what kind of craziness or I can't say that again. What kind of manic stuff she's gonna come up with.
Right, and it looks like she's recording you, so I want you to tell me, she's not, but I want you to explain that to me. So I see that she has a phone in her hand, and I'm like, what is she doing?
Yeah, I see that she has a phone in her hand, but when she turns around, I can see the other side of her phone. And I see that it's not on. So I don't really care one way or another that she's holding up her phone. One of the things that she does while she's holding her phone is she pretends that she's talking to a judge. She'll say, yeah, there she is, Your Honor. She's stalking me again, Your Honor. And there's nobody there. There's nobody there.
Why do you think she's doing that?
To try and scare us, I guess. I think she's trying to scare us with that. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Does it scare you or no?
No. No, it doesn't scare me one bit, because I know, number one, I know that her phone is not on. It's completely black screen on the other side. So there's nothing.
So at one point she says, this is the person that said, you're gone, baby, or something like that. What is she referring to when she says that?
God, she has said so much that, I mean, when she says you're gone, baby, I think that's some sort of a threat that she's going to call the police and have that person arrested or something to that effect. But she never called the police on anybody. She never did anything. The police were always called on her. She never called the police on anybody else. Never.
How about when she says she offers to show you her tits or whatever? So tell me that. At one point she offers to show me her breasts or something like that. And she also says something about she insults you more. She talks about she kind of calls you a lesbian, basically, which is not really an insult, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell me that she says that, and she says that to me, and explain the emotion you feel after that.
Yeah, she decides that I had a pride flag. I had a rainbow flag flying outside my house. And when she saw that, being homophobic, she started calling me a derogatory name, as if I was a lesbian. I'm not a lesbian, but that's what she thought that I was. So she started calling me all kinds of derogatory names, and I just laughed. Because number one, I know it's not true, and number two, I've gotten to the point now where nothing she says affects me. Absolutely nothing she says affects me. And so she can say anything she wants. She can call me any name in the book at this point, and I don't care.
Do you get angry at all?
No.
Did you get angry at the beginning, or no?
I did at the beginning. I got angry at the beginning because I didn't understand, and I couldn't figure out why she was so angry, and why she was so angry at me. Well, I eventually found out that she's not just angry at me. She's angry at the whole world. She's angry at anybody and everybody except herself. And well, I don't even know that. She might be angry with herself. But so then I was able to not take it personally, which I don't. I don't take anything that anybody says to me personally anymore. She taught me that. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's the silver lining.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop this clip and then we'll start another one.
Okay. Now I can.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I lost you whenever I started the next step.
You
So
do that every
at one
time.
point, go ahead and take your drink, whatever you need. But at one point, she says like, you're selling videos of me online and you're making money off me or something like that. So I want you to tell me, without specifically saying YouTube because it's copyrighted. You say social media or whatever, video streaming website, whatever. Tell me about that and what she's talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I had told her before. I had told her at one point. I was recording her, and she wasn't saying anything. So I told her, "Why don't you say something? Why don't say something to all your fans? You have a whole bunch of fans on social media, and they're waiting to hear from you." And that's what she thought, that I was making money off of her. Selling? No, you don't sell videos. You upload them. You don't sell them.
Why do you decide to upload the videos? Tell me about that.
Because of the police. The police told me to record her. And instead of having all my phone memory used up on videos, I uploaded them to social media, so that way they'd be off my phone, but they'd be still available.
Got it. That makes sense. So tell me how angry she is, when she sees you when she knows that you're selling not selling videos, but she says, you're uploading videos of me, you're selling videos of me. Describe the anger for me in her face.
Oh boy, that's another weird thing about her, is that she doesn't really show how angry she is. She's got a smile on her face, but it's a sarcastic smirk. So she doesn't, she talks about it and she screams about it, but she doesn't really come out and say that she's mad about it. That light just went out.
I can't really tell, to be honest. If you look at it, I can't tell.
Oh, good. Well,
your face is still really well lit, so I can't really tell.
Yeah, well, that light just went out for some reason. I don't know why.
I think it might have to be. Is it plugged in?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I don't know. It might be too hot. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's real hot.
Yeah, it's probably because it's so hot.
Okay.
So anyways, basically you guys get in this altercation, right? And tell me how that ends, that altercation ends, and what happens after the cameras stop rolling.
Well, the altercation usually just ends when she goes in her house. When she finally just stops talking and goes in her house. And when she does that, that's when I turn off the cameras. As long as she's out and she's talking, the cameras are on. But when she goes into her house, that's fine. Then I go into my house and we wait until the next time.
After that altercation, do you call the cops? And if so, what do
No,
the cops
I've
do?
never called the cops on her. I have never called the cops on her. The neighbor that lived directly across the street from her, she called the cops on her several times. She has been arrested a couple of times. Once for disorderly conduct and once for menacing. And the neighbor across the street amazingly enough, got a stalking order on her, so she couldn't stand at her driveway anymore and continue to yell at her. She never did that to me. She never stood at my driveway and yelled at me. But she did it to her neighbor across the street daily. So when she got the the stalking order, she stopped doing that. And then the neighbor also put up cameras finally. But she never did that to me. The only thing she ever did to me was when we were directly one-on-one.
Got it. So moving on to the next video, it's called Crazy Neighbor on a Tangent, right? So it's basically she starts saying that your face is gray and stuff like that from smoking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I want you to set the scene for me that day. Just like the other one, what are you doing and what alerts you that your neighbor's outside screaming at you?
Okay, I was over at the neighbor across the street from her, and we were just visiting, and she started coming. She came back. She had taken her dogs for a walk. The neighbor, Fern, had taken her dogs for a walk, so we didn't know that she wasn't in her house. We were just out on the neighbor's driveway talking, and here comes Fern, and
So without calling her name, just say that the bad neighbor.
here
or
comes
something like
here
that.
comes the bad neighbor. Here comes the lady that is, and she's talking about how she's gonna sell her house. She's gonna get $200,000 for it, which she didn't. And what was she saying? Something that
Yes, she says. So she starts going in at you about that you've taken her to court. You're trying to get a restraining order, and you lost. So tell me about
Okay.
that.
That's wrong. I've never tried to take her to court. The neighbor has. The neighbor across the street from her definitely has gone to court for her to get that restraining order or stalking order. I've never tried to do that. I've never called the cops on her. I've never done any of that. So when she's accusing me of these things, it's blind accusations because I've never done that. Never. I've
Now
never
tell me
called the
that she
cops.
starts to kind of. So she's obviously mistaken. But she starts to also insult you and say that your face is gray and stuff like that. So tell me about that.
Yeah. She says my face is gray. She doesn't smoke. I am a smoker. She says my face is gray. I had a hoodie on, and she thought I had a hump in my back, and it was the hood to my hoodie. And she says that I never smoked a day in my life, and I don't drink, and I don't drink either, and that she's a homeowner. Yeah, so am I. But she thinks that she's the only homeowner in this neighborhood. She thinks she's the only one that owned a house, and she didn't own that house. The bank did. She didn't own it. She was paying mortgage.
She starts going into you about your tiny house. So tell me about that. Does that?
What did
She
she
starts
say?
going into you about how tiny your house is and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So tell me that she says that to you, and does that make you angry, or does? I mean, I know you want to laugh it off, but I'm sure somewhere inside of you it's kind of like F you, that would make me mad.
No, it doesn't make me mad because I know how ridiculous it is. I mean, I totally understand that she's just on a tangent and she's gonna say anything. But it doesn't make me mad that she talks about my tiny house. Yeah, it's a tiny house. That's in the name, tiny house. So, yeah, it's a small house. I mean, 220 square feet is small. It's, smaller than a lot of tiny houses. I decided to go small. And she, we've made fun of her being in a garage, a converted garage. And so that's where that stems from, is that we talk about her being in a garage. And so then she decides to clap back with, well, look how little your house is. Yeah, it's a little. It's why they call it a tiny house.
Now, is it tiring to live with someone? I mean, I know you laugh it off and stuff, but I'm sure, like I said, there's a part of you that's kind of like, I'm over this woman. She's constantly insulting me. It's making me mad. So set that up for me. She's constantly insulting me, and it makes me angry, or whatever it makes you. Kind of tell me about that.
Yeah, I'm most definitely. I got after 6 years, 5 years, you do get a little frustrated. I got not angry, really, just exhausted. And anytime I saw her, it would be like a, oh God, here we go again, kind of feeling. But she never got me to the point of anger. That takes a lot to get me to that point, and she was definitely not strong enough for that. But she
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah. Now, in this moment, speaking of, you know, being able to enjoy your house, being able to enjoy your front yard, stuff of the sort, she not insult. She talks about selling her house. She's like, oh, I'm I'm gonna, sorry, choked on myself there.
That's all right.
I'm gonna start. You know, I'm selling my house, and it's for $250,000 and all this other stuff. Tell me about that. And then, does that kind of give you like a sense of peace? Like, okay, finally she's moving.
Yeah, she definitely, she listed her house for $200,000 on where she went through 4 realtors before they finally, the other realtors didn't want to have nothing more to do with her. So she said she was going to get $200,000 for her house. Well, except for the fact that the whole time she lived there, she never paid her property taxes. And for the last 3 months of living there, she didn't pay her mortgage. So she didn't even get $100,000 for her house. She got much less. But it was, we wanted to throw a party on the day she moved. We literally wanted to throw a party on the day that she was leaving, but we decided not to do that. That wouldn't have been very
At
nice.
one point, she says like the city is here. Does the city come up or anything like that? I don't know. At the end of it, she says something like that.
No, the city has nothing to do with any of it. So I don't know
maybe
what
she was just talking out of her ass.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what happens after you stop recording on that one?
She just goes into her house. She goes into her house. I stop recording and I say goodbye to my neighbor and I come back to my house, and all is right with the world until the next day. Until the next day when she comes out of her house. See,
Now, there's one video I want to talk about when the police do show up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Crazy Neighbor Trouble Again Still is what is the title of it. So, actually, let me start a clip because we're going kind of long on this.
Okay.
Just before we get started, I don't want to make sure we got, you know, enough camera there to roll. All right, so on this one, basically, you know, the police are outside, so I want you to set up what's happening before, like, why are the police there and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, the police would come when the neighbor across the street from her called, because she would be standing at the end of her driveway screaming at her, calling her all kinds of names. So she would call the police, and then the police would come and talk to her. They would come and talk to Fern, or they would come and talk to that neighbor. And again, she would act. She was a great actress. She would act like nothing was wrong. She hadn't talked to anybody. She won't talk to anybody. There's nothing wrong. I don't know what she's talking about. So again, the cops have no proof. So that's why, you know, I started recording, was because they kept saying there's no proof of anything. There's no proof. Well, now I have proof. Here, this is what's happening. And I would show that to the police. And because no real crime has committed, they basically wouldn't do anything. There's, like I said, she's only been actually arrested twice in 6 years. Even though we had to every single day deal with her manic episodes. But because of my videos is because she got arrested the 2 times that she did. And
what was she arrested for? Tell me about that.
The first time she was arrested for, oh God, what was it? I think it was just disorderly conduct. She only spent 1 night in jail. And the second time she was arrested was for menacing, and she only, again, spent 1 night in jail, and then they let her out.
Wow, so in this moment, so I want to go back to that police video. So you look outside, you see that the police are there. What makes you go outside and start investigating?
Well, I don't really look. I have security cameras around my house, and my front security camera looks all the way up the street. So on my TV, I can see that the police are there. It's real obvious. So I go outside with my camera to capture whatever is going on. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on, but I figured that it had to do with her. Because this is a quiet neighborhood. We don't have any major problems here. This is real quiet and like a lot of retired people here. So if the police are here, something's up, and it's most likely her. So.
And so you go outside and you see her talking to the police. I mean, what is she saying to the police? I can't really tell.
Oh,
from
I
the
can't.
Video.
Yeah, I can't hear what she's saying to the police. Like you can't hear it in the video either. I can't hear her at all. I just want to document. I don't care what she's saying, because whatever she's saying is of no consequence to me. But I just want to document. So that's basically just what I'm doing, is just documenting to make sure
No,
that.
so you go outside
Mhm.
and you see what's happening and you're documenting and stuff like that. I want you to kind of tell me, are the other neighbors outside as well kind of watching what's happening? I know there's someone named Angela that you talk about.
That's the
I don't know
neighbor
who that is.
directly across the street from her.
All right, so tell me, the neighbor Angela across the street,
Hmm.
you know, we're all out there and we're all kind of seeing what's happening.
Yeah, me and I go outside and I see that the cops are here, and I see that Angela is, outside of her house watching. So I go up to Angela and ask her what's going on, and basically all she says is Fern.
So give me a line of, Angela's my next door neighbor.
Well, Angela lives across the street from the bad neighbor. The bad neighbor lives 2 doors up from me, but Angela lives directly across the street from her.
Got
So,
it. Okay.
yeah.
So you come outside, and then she goes back inside. It seems like the police are done, but you tell the police that she's like written letters to the DA about you and stuff like that. So tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the DA had told me, or the police had told me that she had written letters to the DA about me. She wrote letters to Angela's landlord about her, just saying that that we're stalking her, and that we're trying to kill her, and that I mean, completely insane stuff that is not absolutely 100% not true. But so I just write it off to the DA isn't here. He's not arresting me, so apparently he doesn't take her seriously either. Nobody around here is taking her seriously, and it got to the point where the cops didn't even have to ask when the police were called. They didn't even have to ask what it was about anymore, because any phone call that the police got from this neighborhood, it was definitely about the woman.
Got it. So basically, does she get charged that day, or do the police just go away? Like, what happens afterwards with the police?
Well, the police have been out here so many times. I don't know which time it was when she actually got taken and arrested. So, I'd have to go back and look at my videos, but there's been several times where there's been several instances where they would just come out, talk to her, tell her to stay in her house, tell her to stop it, and then they would leave. Many times. So.
And at one point in that video too, which is crazy, she says like, "I'll show you my tits again." Like she's constantly saying that to you. How does it feel to hear her say that in front of the police? So set it up for me. She says that she's going to show her breasts in front of the police, and I'm like, how do you react?
Yeah, she tells me that she's going to show me her breasts in front of the police, and I basically told her to go for it. That she would be arrested for indecent exposure. she has shown them to me. She's shown them to other people. I have a short video of her dancing and pulling her top up and dancing in her yard. There's been one instance where she was in front of my house and she started, pulling everything down and showing me her bra. I'm not sure why, because if she's so homophobic, why is she doing that? That made no sense to me. But I really didn't think anything of it other than, oh God, here we go again with some more manic craziness.
Right. So there's one more video I want to talk about, and it's the tail end of one of Fern's screaming fits, right?
Right.
There's not a ton going on in it, but I do want to mention something. Like, she says like, I'm winning or something like that. She's like, I'm winning this or something. So tell me she says that to me and react to it. Do you think she's winning?
Well, she's not actually saying it to me. She's saying it to Angela, because Angela is the one that has called the police on her several times and got the stalking order on her. And when Fern says that she's winning, she's not. She thinks she is, but she's not. Angela went to court, and when Angela walked into the courtroom, Fern told the judge that was not Angela, that she doesn't know that person. And Angela's like, I've got my ID. And so Fern thinks that she's winning because she's still here and she's not in jail somewhere. But
I want you to tell me that again, but don't use names on it for me. So, the bad neighbor and my neighbor next door,
okay.
That sort of stuff, not Angela and Fern.
Yeah.
Okay. That was good, though.
If I can do it again. Yeah, bad neighbor.
So when she says she's winning, start off like that.
Right. When she says she's winning, she's not really winning. How she feels that she's winning is that she's not currently in jail. And she wasn't telling that to me. She was telling that to the neighbor across the street, who is the one that has always called the police on her and has constantly called the police on her, because the bad neighbor is constantly standing in her driveway screaming at her. So as far as her winning is concerned, that's in her own delusions. She was not winning at all. There wasn't anything to win. There wasn't anything to lose or win. She thinks that she's winning because the police aren't there at that moment taking her to jail. But that makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So now we're going to kind of wrap it all up. So how long did you live next to her, and tell me when she moves out?
Okay. I actually moved into this house about 4 months before she moved into her house. And so I was still pretty new to this neighborhood, but I had gotten to know a lot of people, when she showed up. I've lived here now for 7 years, or going on 7 years. We had to deal with her for 5 of these 7 years. She finally moved last year. She moved away, and we have no idea where she is. We don't know what town she moved to. We don't know anything where she's at. I feel really sorry for whoever her neighbors are. If you're out there, I'm really sorry that you have to deal with this, but record everything. Record it all.
How excited are you, or how relieved are you whenever she moves out? Tell me about that.
When she moved out, we literally wanted to have a party. We literally wanted to have a party, but we decided against it. But we were so relieved that we didn't have to deal with that anymore. We didn't have to listen to her screaming at random people for no reason. We didn't have to listen to her screaming at us for no reason. She literally had no reason to scream at anybody. So watching her leave, that was the best thing ever. That was so nice to see her finally get out and never come back. And I hope to.
Does it feel like you can finally like enjoy your front yard again? I don't know if you have a front yard, but like, you know, you can finally walk in your neighborhood in peace and stuff like that. Tell me about the things you're able to do now.
Yeah, now I can actually walk up and down the street without fear of being screamed at or called names, or my neighbors can walk up and down the street. We can spend time in our yards. I mean, the neighbor across the street, she is an avid gardener. I mean, she has a beautiful garden, and ever since the bad neighbor moved in, she has pretty much had to stay in her house, because if she comes out at all, she would be screamed at. So her garden got neglected because of the bad neighbor. So now it's back up and beautiful, and we're all able to enjoy ourselves and not have to worry about being screamed at and called every name in the book.
Perfect. I'm going to stop this clip and then we're going to start our last one.
Okay.
Perfect. So, you know, legal's probably going to ask about the legal status and all that kind of stuff. So just briefly run me through, you know, she was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct. My neighbor took her to court and won or didn't win. There's a protective order, all that kind of legal stuff that I probably would need to know.
Okay. She was arrested for, I believe it was disorderly conduct the first time. But there was no order in place. It was just a blanket order for her to stay away from everybody. A few people were named. I was named, that she had to stay away from. But they basically told her, the whole neighborhood, just don't talk to anybody. That lasted a couple of weeks. The second time she was arrested for menacing, and so the neighbor across the street took her to court and drove herself to court and got a stalking order on bad neighbor, so that she couldn't stand at her driveway and scream at her anymore. Believe it or not, she did kind of respect the law. She didn't respect anybody else, but she did respect the law. So she stopped screaming at the neighbor across the street. And then it was maybe just a couple of months later that she actually moved out. And we were so happy. We were so happy, but I feel really bad for the people, for wherever she is now. I feel really bad for those people that are around her.
If you could say anything to your neighbor, what would you say?
Get help.
So, without saying that, because obviously I don't want to say anything about mental health, but, you know, if I could say anything to my neighbor, I would say...
F off?
That's fine, to start it off, you know, if I could say anything to my neighbor, I would say...
If I could say anything to my neighbor, I would say, woman, we're not that bad. We are not stalking you. We are not out to hurt you. We just want to live our lives in this beautiful coast town, and that's it. We wanted to be your friend. You didn't want to be anybody's friend.
Perfect. And so, are you happy that you stuck it out and you didn't move out?
Oh, she wasn't going to run me out. There was no way she was going to run me out. I fought hard to get this house here. It took me a year of fighting the state to get this house here. There was nobody that was going to run me out. Nobody. If anything, I would have stepped up my game and run her out. But I didn't have to.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to say? We're kind of at the end of it now.
This has been really cool.
Cool, awesome. Well, yeah. So that's basically it. You know, obviously there's going to be some pictures and stuff that I'll need. So I'm going to watch this down and review it. So it might not be for a couple of weeks, but I'll reach out in regards to like photos and stuff like that
Sure.
that I might need. But right now we're just going to keep it quiet for 30 seconds to get what I call room tone. But feel free, take a drink of water, you know, check your phone, whatever you need. We're just going to keep it quiet for 30 seconds so we can kind of, you know, for the sound and stuff like that.
Okie doke.
Awesome. We are done. So
Woohoo!
basically what's going to happen now is we're just going to keep these clips uploading. They're uploading pretty quickly. So it should be, you know, I would just keep the iPad up for another, 30 minutes or so.
No
You don't
problem.
have to sit in front of it, obviously. It's just uploading on your internet to the cloud. So Kyle is on here as well. He's kind of Ryan's co-assistant. And so he's going to, I think Ryan may have already went over the pickup and stuff like that with you, but he's here just to kind of monitor everything and make sure it's uploading. But yeah, so just let Ryan know, a good pickup time. I know you said you were busy tomorrow with your show and stuff like that.
Yeah, not until 3
so
o'clock.
hopefully
So.
they can-
Yeah, I'm
Sorry, say it again.
not until 3 o'clock. My show's at 3.
Oh, great.
So
Yeah, so they'll arrange a pickup
lots of
for you.
lots of time before
In
that.
the morning then. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Silver. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but I'll keep you updated. I'll text you for any photos, videos, anything that I need, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, because
Cool.
I only sent you guys 3 of them. There are more.
If you want to send me more, you can. I don't know. The one of her, like, dancing in a front yard, I don't know if I can show, but I would like it.
Yeah, because she's
I don't know if S&P, well, obviously blur it, but I don't know if S&P would be
interested.
okay with it, like standards and practices,
Ah.
but we can check for sure.
Right. Well, I don't
Cool.
know. YouTube has no problem with it, so.
Okay, well, you can send it to me. You can send it to me for sure.
Yeah.
And then anything else you think that might be relevant to what we chatted about today, feel free to send me and I can include it.
Okay.
Cool?
And you know
Awesome.
what's funny is that the one video that has the most views is Crazy Neighbor Gets Arrested. And
Uh-huh.
she makes no appearance in that video at all.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I don't really know if I even really need it, because there's not, like, a ton going on with it, you know? So,
No, that's funny, but that's the one video that has the most. It has over 160 views, or 160,000 views.
weird. Who knows, right?
I
YouTube
know.
is strange. But anywho, awesome. All right, well, we will chat soon. Just keep that iPad up for me, and Kyle will give you a call whenever we're good to go.
Okay,
Awesome.
good, awesome.
Cool, thanks, Silver. We'll chat soon. Great,
Okay.
Great job, great interview. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll talk soon, okay?
Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.